Did you know that Joe Biden is the living embodiment of the rule of law? Don't take my word for it. Take that of Mueller's pit bull turned MSNBC lapdog, Andrew Weissman. You know, the guy who said a few weeks ago that he had a giant man crush on the Democrat donor judge who oversaw President Trump's criminal trial in New York. Watch.
I'm more interested in what it tells us about the rule of law in this country in two ways. One, the son of the sitting president was pretty quickly tried. He was given due process and he was found guilty. And you have the current president, the father of the defendant, making it absolutely clear that he is not pardoning him, that he could have ordered at any time his Justice Department to get rid of this case. He did not do that. He has said that he is not planning on pardoning him as well. And I really think that if you look at this case, what is the big picture here? It's not a drug addict who possessed a gun for 2 weeks. It is that you have a president of the United States who is living embodiment of the rule of law.
See how the left is framing this whole guilty verdict for Hunter Biden? This is exactly how they teed up the 2016 election. Fake investigations for Hillary Clinton and fake investigations for then-candidate Donald Trump. Clinton's fake investigations were designed to exonerate her in the public eye. The fake Trump investigations were designed to prevent Trump from even being elected. This time, the fake investigation into Hunter was to provide this same exoneration, but for Joe Biden, so that the left can scream through all their propaganda channels and other outlets that Trump isn't facing political persecution because, as they say, the sitting president's own son was just convicted of federal gun charges. No double standards here. As Weissman would say, Joe Biden is the living embodiment of the rule of law. See how it works? Our first guest tonight argues, quote, Hunter Biden can run a complex, years-long foreign influence peddling scheme to enrich his family, and all he'll ever face are minor, unrelated gun charges, a fig leaf over the corruption that's right at the heart of the White House. Hunter has never been charged for the many financial crimes related to his time working for Ukraine energy company Burisma, never charged for operating as an unregistered foreign agent or selling influence in government policy. The federal prosecutor charged with investigating Hunter allowed the statute of limitations to expire on tax evasion associated with Hunter's Burisma earnings, and then simply ignored every other crime connected to the Biden family's influence peddling scheme. The gun trial only materialized after a federal judge blew up the prosecutor's corrupt plea deal. The entire purpose of the trial is to provide a thin veneer of justice served, while the real crimes of the Biden family go unpunished and unacknowledged, end quote. And if you, like our first guest, still have concerns about how Biden's DOJ has been leveraging lawfare against the right, and you don't believe all this Joe Biden is the living embodiment of the rule of law talk, well, our first guest has a new piece out today about the implicit threats Attorney General Merrick Garland is now making in the pages of the Washington Post about anyone who dares to criticize his department. Joining us now to discuss is John Daniel Davidson, a senior editor for The Federalist. John, thanks for being back tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great. So you write in your piece about Garland that, quote, whatever the merits of his argument, it doesn't come off as an argument. It comes off as a threat. So can you explain for us what you mean by that?
Yeah, Merrick Garland is the chief law enforcement officer in the United States. He's the attorney general. He has an enormous amount of power. And for him to come out in this op-ed and equate bomb threats, which he did, with criticism of his department, basically saying that these things are equivalent, is incredibly dangerous because there's an implicit threat there that criticizing the Department of Justice and criticizing its conduct is a criminal act, is an act that may rise to the level of having to have the department itself intervene. And he does this throughout his op-ed, saying that unfounded criticism or conspiracy theories that are meant to undermine confidence in the Department of Justice are attacks that he says must stop. Now, when the Attorney General of the United States says something must stop, it's not an empty threat. It's not like he has no recourse to back up his words there. So this is a very chilling thing. It's a very disturbing thing to hear from a sitting Attorney General.